Hello everyone, it's Mark. I am the Sanderson Collector, and today we are going to do what is probably going to be my favorite video of the year. We are going to open up the cases and do my library tour. I have finally managed to get everything on my shelves and I'm ready to show you around. So let's start with the things that are on top of the shelves. Up here we have the board games. We start with the Mistborn House War board game. We have the Call to Adventure base game, the Stormlight expansion of which is coming out later this year. And we have the full Reckoners board game. The rest of my bookcases don't have anything quite as interesting on top. These have a bunch of posters and things that I have not put up, a bunch of like extra little tidbits that don't fit on my regular shelves, and another poster or two that I need to put up, and some other miscellaneous things, more posters, maps, and stuff like that that will eventually get put up. And the foil Roshar map on this last bookcase over here. So let's go ahead and get into what's actually in the bookcases. This one I have on the very top a couple of very special advanced parts of the leather-bound editions. You've seen a few of these in earlier videos. These are the unbound signatures for the various leather-bound editions and the bound proof copies. My misprint Skyward, my beta copy of Calamity with my comments, and some copies of the JordanCon anthology just to like prop up the end of the books. And then in the main case, on the top shelf, I have the first of my arcs from Elantris up through the Way of Kings advanced bound manuscript. And then down here, I have the rest of my arcs from Way of Kings up through even the Unfettered arcs. Next, I have my Leatherbounds, the Dragonsteel, and the other ones. And then I get into the hardcovers down here. I have first print hardcovers of basically everything, as well as some later printings in many cases. And of course, in the middle of the bookcase, I have my swag shelf. In this one, I have mainly Mistborn stuff on the top shelf, with one copy of Star's End there in the back. And on the second shelf, I have the rest of my Cosmere stuff, which is mainly Stormlight themed. I've got things from various release parties, and cards, and another copy of Star's End. And that is everything for the first bookcase. In the second bookcase, up top, I have some more hardcovers, Warbreaker, Way of Kings, Words of Radiance, Oathbringer, and then I get into the rest of the hardcovers. After Brandon's Cosmere books, I have the anthologies, and then some YA novels, all the different editions of Steelheart, and various other editions and copies of Steelheart down here. And then I have the rest of the YA books, including my upside down copy of Starsight. That's why it looks a little weird. And in the middle of this one, so that I don't skip over it, on the top shelf I have all of the Skyward, Starsight, and other convention items. So for example, I have my badges for the conventions that I've helped out at. I've got a sell sheet for Legion, my name tag for when I was at JordanCon, and all kinds of Skyward and Starsight swag, patches, stickers, pins, lanyards, all those things. And then on the second shelf, I have all of my Reckoners things, price sheet for Calamity, all the various different cards associated with the characters, and the postcards, pins, a couple of bookmarks, all those fun things. And you already saw the Reckoners books. Now, down here, I have the book club editions that I've collected. Some of them are tall, some of them are short. Those go up through here. Then I've got a couple of library hardcovers. I need to get Firefight to complete that set. And then I have the original Alcatraz and the new Alcatraz. And then down here I have the Turtleback hardcovers and the small Dragonsteel editions, the Con doubles and Legion editions that they've put out. Then from here to here I have the international paperbacks, and from here to here are the trade paperback editions of the Stormlight books. Here's all the books for the Mistborn board game, and a paperback of one of the anthologies, and that finishes off the main two bookcases that I have. Over here on the rest of my bookcases, I have the rest of the anthologies, and then the smaller format paperbacks, mostly YA paperbacks with some Emperor's Soul mixed in here, and the anthology paperbacks, sampler books, paperbacks of the Alcatraz books, the little pocket-sized hardcovers that Tor started putting out, and then mass market paperbacks, lots of these with lots of different printings on lots of the different books, mainly Mistborn, but others as well as I can hunt them down. And then we get into the magazines and anthologies. There's a couple of anthologies here, and then various magazines, mostly Leading Edge, that Brandon has been in over the years. After that, we get into the UK editions. The first part of the UK editions is the signed and numbered copies, which I showed off in a video before from Anderita Books, and as well the first handful here on the second shelf. After that are the regular UK editions. These are organized in a way that's very similar to the US editions. I've got all the hardcovers here, including, finally, the Way of Kings hardcover. That one was very difficult to track down. And the YA hardcovers and anthologies. And then up here on the next bookcase, I have the large format paperbacks. I don't have all of these. I'm missing most of the Mistborns. You can see I need Shadows of Self and Bands of Morning here. I need a Firefight here. And I need to get Skyward that goes here. And a couple of anthologies, different format paperbacks, the smaller 10th anniversary hardcovers, the smaller other format hardcovers, and then the mass market equivalent paperbacks, and the various Mistborns, and so on. And finally, the Alcatraz books. And that is all of the US editions of the Brandon books that I have. Now, I do have another 3.5 bookcases here, so what I have on these are various foreign language editions, and I keep my foreign language editions alphabetized by language, and I'm going to go through and list those off for you real quick. I have Bosnian, Brazilian Portuguese, Bulgarian, and Chinese. And then on the next bookshelf, I have an entire shelf of Czech. This is Czech as well, and then I have Danish and Dutch on this shelf. And on the next one, I have my single Estonian book, and then lots of French editions. The two French White Sands are the tallest books that I have. They're too tall to fit and stand upright, so they're sideways. More French editions, and more French editions, including a lot of variety of the French Alcatraz books. Then I have a set of Mistborn in Finnish, and a bunch of German editions here on this shelf. And the next shelf, that's all German editions. And then on the next bookshelf, I get into my Greek editions, and then Hebrew, and then Hungarian. I've showed off the Hungarian editions at length in a previous video because they are absolutely amazing. Hungarian goes up through here, and then I have Indonesian, and one Italian book, and Japanese, the full set of Japanese books. And then I have the Mistborn trilogy in Lithuanian, several books in Polish, and then Portuguese from Portugal, and one book in Russian. Then I have various editions in Romanian and Slovak, and then Spanish. I have lots of books in Spanish, basically all the books, hardcover, large size paperback, medium size paperback, and then on the next shelf, more medium-sized paperbacks and small paperbacks. And then we get into a set from Sweden, and then the Taiwanese editions, all from here across, Stormlight Taiwanese here, and various other Taiwanese books as we go through. Then we get to Thai, and more Thai down here, some Turkish, and the Turkish books finish up the standard foreign language Sanderson books. After that, I have a couple of Hungarian Wheel of Time, and then I get into my US Wheel of Time with the split editions, the various small hardcovers and leather bounds, couple of ARCs, the various anthologies that have Wheel of Time stories, the U.S. trade paperbacks with the ebook covers, and a couple of other trade paperbacks. And then this bookshelf has the rest of my Wheel of Time. On the top shelf, I have most of the book club hardcovers in the U.S. editions. That's why they're shorter here than the U.K. hardcovers that are over here, and this one random U.K. trade paperback that shares the cover, and then the rest of the UK hardcovers and trade paperbacks and medium format paperbacks, and then we get into the US mass market paperbacks, which take up a lot of room because there's lots of different printings and editions of those. And then we get to a couple of odd little UK paperbacks, as well as the nice set of UK paperbacks that goes really well together. And down here I have a full set of the hardcovers from New Spring all the way through A Memory of Light, and then a couple of other random things, comic books, coloring books, and so on. Down here I have my very small collection of the audiobooks for the various books, and that concludes my really collector's set of everything that I have. I do have one more bookcase over here. These are my personal books. A lot of these are personalized to me. These are copies that I go through and read when I want to read or reread the books, and they have lots of special little things in them for me. And you can see I've got basically one copy usually of every book as you go through here, including some of the anthologies, and then my countersigned books on the last two shelves here, which are always a lot of fun to collect. And then, as always, there's always more room for something else, because I'm always collecting. So that's everything that's in my library all the way around the room. I hope y'all enjoyed the tour today, and happy collecting to everyone.